This is the new OPPO Reno14 Pro 5G with a new and bold design, yet quite thin as well. It comes packed with the latest MediaTek chipset and also an impressively bright torch, alongside an extra sensor for the cameras. But is the Reno14 Pro worth the hype and, of course, the price? Well, let's take a look at the design first. If you remember, the Reno13 Pro has a reflective pattern behind that looks like a butterfly wing. This time, the Reno14 Pro comes with a similar idea of reflective patterns, but with a completely different texture. OPPO said, and I'm not joking here, that this design is inspired by mermaids, dubbed Mermaidcore. Whatever the inspiration behind it is, I do believe that the iridescent mermaid design here is very nice. At different angles, the reflective light gives off different color as well, which I think is really unique. This phone is also thinner than its predecessor at only 7.42mm. The number doesn't actually do it justice because you will have to touch it for yourself to feel its thinness. And this is something that I immediately can tell when I hold it for the first time. This phone is also rather huge actually, and that is because of the screen. Ever since the Reno13 Pro, the Reno Pro phones are using a 6.83-inch OLED screen with a resolution of 2800 by 1272 pixels and also goes up to 120Hz refresh rate. Now, the screen in itself is capable of going up to 1180 nits in auto brightness, and that is good enough for outdoors usage. However, the color accuracy of this screen here is not exactly the best. From our tests using the default out-of-the-box settings, the screen can reach 97.52% of sRGB and 71.54% of DCI-P3 color gamuts. That means this display is quite desaturated compared to other screens. Now, we can head into the settings menu and enable the bright color profile, which boosts the color gamut coverage to 100% of sRGB and 98% of DCI-P3. That is a whole lot better, and the delta E number is also very low. It just seems like OPPO is using a very desaturated look for its default settings. So just turn it to the bright color profile if you want something more vivid. Also, the fingerprint scanner is way too low to be used ergonomically. Now, let's talk about the performance. The OPPO Reno14 Pro 5G is equipped with the MediaTek Dimensity 8450 chipset. During our briefing for this phone, we were told that OPPO and MediaTek are in close collaboration, and hence the result is this phone. So when we did our gaming test, yes, the performance is indeed quite okay. I can roughly place its performance of the Dimensity 8450 to be somewhere around the Snapdragon 7 series, as it can run most games in medium settings with comfortable frame rates. Genshin Impact is above 30 FPS in medium settings, and the overall experience was great. Zenless Zone Zero is a notorious one since it renders everything in the map, and with medium graphical settings, the new Feilum Heights area, the performance just tanks, and that is to be expected because every single device that I own has the same issue at this area. And when we fought the usual flower boss, it became a slideshow constantly, so lowering the graphical settings is highly recommended for this game. Wuthering Waves ran okay as it was hovering around 30 FPS with medium graphical settings. I also want to point out that the thermal limit for the Reno14 Pro is a bit too low at only 42 degrees Celsius. But that doesn't actually matter since this phone is using a passive cooler and it will thermal throttle eventually anyway. Other games like COD Mobile Battle Royale mode and PUBG Mobile has zero issues since those games are not demanding at all, so there's nothing to talk about those games. If you want to watch the entire gaming test video, then the link is at the top right corner there or down in the description below. The battery life is something that I don't know how to talk about. You see, we get phones like this like about a week or two earlier than the actual launch date. Usually, this isn't an issue. However, the Reno14 Pro with its 6200 mAh battery, in theory, it should last for a very long time in our standardized battery life test. Turns out, this phone can only last for 11 hours and 22 minutes. It shouldn't be this low for a phone with 6200 mAh battery. And this is tested in 1080p resolution mode only. When we redid the test in its native resolution, then it only lasts for 9 hours and 46 minutes. Of course, I contacted OPPO about this and I was told that this unit is not using the finalized firmware. So I waited for a few days after the official launch of the phone and I checked if there's any official firmware updates, and turns out there is none. So I'm not sure when OPPO will fix this. So if we do have an update, I'll leave it down in the description below. So check that out. As for the charging speed, the Reno14 Pro comes with a proprietary 80-watt charger in the box. With its default out-of-the-box settings, it can charge from 15% to completion in around 50 minutes. It's quite good as the temperatures are in check too. We can then head into the settings menu and turn on the fastest charging speed possible. And it doesn't actually change the charging speed much, but it does raise the temperature slightly. When we use our own USB PD charger though, it also doesn't differ much from the default charging speed. It's slightly slower, yes, but the temperature is also the lowest among all of the 3 tests that we did. And in USB PD mode, the phone only takes in 27 watts maximum. The Reno14 Pro also has wireless charging and supports up to 50 watts of proprietary wireless charging if you're into that. As for the software, it's actually okay. ColorOS is consistently very smooth and has a lot of fancy animations throughout. There are ads and bloatware all over, but you can remove them manually. In general, ColorOS in the Reno series is the same as their flagship counterparts, so you can watch our review of the Find X8 Pro instead. As for the cameras, there are 3 of them here. We have the triple 50-mega sensors combo here, and all of them have auto-focusing lenses. Now, I don't have much pics to show you, and it's a mix between some of the shots that we took during the Reno14 Pro briefing and the pictures that I took outdoors. I have to say the cameras here are insanely good. It seems like OPPO has blurred the lines between the Reno and Find X series of phones cameras. All of the 3 cameras have great colors and clarity, and it just looks great. The ultra-wide angle camera will sometimes shift a little bit to the blue hue side and also looks a bit more vivid, but otherwise still great. Honestly, nothing to complain here about the cameras at all. This might be due to the extra circle on top of the ultra-wide angle camera. There is no official specs about this little circle, but it is expected to be a color temperature sensor. One extra feature that the Reno14 Pro has is an extremely bright, diffused flashlight. Of course, it will light up our face for portrait shots, and it just looks a lot better and less harsh compared to traditional flashlights on our phones. Overall, OPPO did a really good job for the Reno14 Pro's camera. And a few more things to mention here. The OPPO Reno14 Pro 5G comes with a USB 2.0 port at the bottom here with no display output capability, and it also has dual SIM card slots. It does also have an IR blaster at the top, so we can use it to control things around the house. Now, since we have delayed the review of this phone by a few days, we have the final price of the Reno14 Pro and also some time to think about it. This price of 2,999 ringgit, I would just have to say that the price is yikes. It's too high, honestly. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. So let me know, what do you think about this phone? The OPPO Reno14 Pro 5G has great cameras, great design, decent performance, but the battery life as of now is still weird. And I do suspect that it's due to the firmware, and I don't know when it will be fixed. Again, if we do have any updates, then I'll leave them down in the description below. Do remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.